your top
five.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go.
No,
We
no,
both thinking the same thing.
And comedy is so subjective.
Stand up.
So there we go. Stand up.
Stand up. Top 5 stand-up comedians.
My top 5 stand up all time, no particular order. It's Chris.
No.
Well,
I want an order.
Because if I do
You gotta
order,
have to know like who's at least number one or two.
Number one is Chris Rock all time.
All time?
All time.
Damn,
Chris Rock.
Nice. Okay.
Chris Rock all time. Nobody has a better catalog than him. From as far as I ain't even wanting to get all into the technicalities and all this shit. Just know from the way I view comedy, that nigga is the greatest.
You heard it here first.
Stand-up
number
comedy.
2.
And I'll say this about Chris Rock. Chris Rock is a stand-up star. People don't go see him because they like Pootie Tang, or they don't go see him.
Pootie Tang was rough.
But you see what I'm saying? They don't go.
I like Pootie Tang. Yeah, what the fuck? Pootie Tang's classic.
They don't go see him. They don't go see him because everybody hates Chris or no shit. Like, you go see Chris Rock to go see stand-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ain't his stardom that brings you. It's literally his stand-up comedy.
That's true.
That brings you. That's what I'm saying. Chappelle is one of the greatest stand-ups of all time, but a lot of those fans of Chappelle show fans. Chappelle, that's why they would yell out, "I'm Rick James, bitch," and all kinds of shit in the middle of his set. Chris Rock ain't got to deal with that. You ain't heckling Chris Rock. You come there to shut the fuck up and hear what the hell he got to say, and that's a testament. So that's another thing. And Bill Burr. So I got
Bill Burr, fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So I got Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr, top 5.
Bill Burr is top 5.
Bill Burr is fucking funny.
Mm-hmm. Bill Burr is top 5. His catalog.
Crazy.
I'ma go Patrice O'Neal at 4.
That nigga's funny.
Patrice O'Neal would have been the GOAT.
We lost a good one there.
Just lost him too early.
Yeah.
Never got to meet him, never got to see him live, nothing. But number 4. Now, number 5 is where it gets hard. It gets hard because now, for me, it's about taste at 5.
Okay.
It's about taste and stuff like that. I'm going to go Pryor at 5 just because he is the blueprint. And how the fuck do you leave the blueprint out of the top 5? You know what I mean? He really set the standard for how comedy would be done for the next 40 fucking years. How do you... Shit, we in 2023 and 50 years. He set the standard with how comedy would be done for the next 50 fucking years, damn near. So, nah, man, the honesty, he had it all. He had it all.
Storytelling.
He could storytell. He had the act outs. He had social commentary. He talked about his life. He was honest in a way that no one said. Nigga set himself on fire. This nigga was doing drugs, everything, and talked about it filled up arenas of people who couldn't wait to hear about it.
Right.
It was a whole nother thing, man. A lot of people couldn't do it. So, and then after that, after you get into the 5, you have your Carlins and your Cosbys and your, you know what I mean? Your
No
CK,
Eddie Murphy mentioned yet.
Eddie Murphy, top 5.
Top 5?
No, I'm saying you guys top 5. That's why it was no Eddie Murphy mentioned. And you said stand-up.
Okay.
Now, all things comedy, it's Eddie Murphy. Then there's a huge gap between everybody else. Then we can start naming other comedians.
What about comedic actors? Like they're not known for stand-up as much.
And there's this huge gap. Then there's Robin Williams. And then there's another huge gap.
Right.
And then then you can go with however you want to. But there's never been a person on the face of this earth, and there never probably will be a person on the face of this earth funnier or better at being funny than Eddie Murphy.
I talk that shit.
Eddie Murphy is, man, listen, Eddie Murphy made Beyonce, it's Eddie. Like, it's Eddie Murphy, dog. Like, if you, man.
But you're not a fan of his stand-up.
Stand-up, he only got 2 specials.
That's true. He only got 2 specials.
Chris got like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Dave got like 6 or 7. Burr got about 6 or 7. All the people I'm naming, the only person that I named that didn't have a ton of them was Patrice, and it's because he was stopped short. But Elephant in the Room, is arguably one of the best stand-up specials ever.
Man.
Ever. Man, you could put Delirious and Raw together. It's not Elephant in the Room. Elephant in the Room is, and then look at podcasts, how podcasts are being done now. Patrice O'Neal was the king of that shit.
Yeah, he was already on it.
He was already on it. He was doing that shit before everybody. All the perspectives, the quote unquote manosphere and the red pill dudes, all they doing is repeating shit that this nigga said 15 fucking years ago. It's not even close.
So you're a fan of Black Phillip?
Man, listen, I'm telling you, no one's close to Patrice.
Black Phillip is
Black
funny.
Phillip is incredible, dog. And the way he, Patrice O'Neal, man, if you want to see comedy done at its very best, it's especially hard to do material.
Right.
Watch that. Bill Burr had a bit where he told Michelle Obama to shut the fuck up. As a white, redheaded man in America.
Tough conversation.
You know how hard that is to do? And you know what? When he got to
I do.
When he got to when he got to the end of that bit, you know, I was like, she might need to shut the fuck up, man. That was some good points that nigga made. That's what I'm saying. When you're you know how hard it is, the climate that we're in, you can't tell the first black first lady, and he did it. He stood on that shit. And then he put his examples and everything out there, turned everything on its head, and when he got to the end, I was like, yeah, man, she might need to shut the fuck up, man. It was crazy. And that's to me, that's what makes the best of them. That's why Chris is the best. That's why Dave is the best. That's why Bill is the best. And that's why fucking Patrice O'Neal is the best. You know what I mean?
All those guys you mentioned, I didn't seen it all.
They make the hardest material you could possibly do, man. It's scary. Because you like they do stuff where you go, you be like, oh, you go, everything ain't funny. And they'll be like, everything is funny. They'll be like, nah, you bet you can't talk about this and it be funny. They'll show you. So in my set, man, I talk about suicide, destroy the audience. People are like, ain't no way you talk about suicide and everybody's laughing. I guarantee you, everybody double it over laughing. But I talk about abortion, everybody dying laughing. I talk about it in a way that I'm doing it so that the people who are pro-life get mad. And so I can point them out. I use that so I can see them in the audience. And then I get to the end of it, flip it on their head, and they be like, fuck. This nigga's good. This nigga's good. So it's like anything, man. I talk about, for lack of a better phrase, statutory rape. I talk about all of a sudden, and then the funny part is I'm saying this, and somebody could watch this podcast like, I ain't want to watch nothing. He said, I don't use none of these fucking words. I'm talking about these things. And whenever the way you don't, it's not like I go into it like, hey guys, statutory rape. Let's get into it. That's not how I do it. But I talk about tough stuff, man. I talk about killing a kid.
Damn.
Yeah, everybody's dying laughing. Everybody's just dying laughing.
I gotta see this one.
Yeah, man. I got it on my phone. I'll show it to you. So, for me, right? Because all these things, right? People that I'm saying that I'm mentioning, people are like, all these things are terrible because there's no morality in it. But my job is not only to help you see the morality in it, but to make you laugh. It's a twofer.
Right.
And so if I'm able to do that, you can't deny that I'm great because I'm making the things that you told me were not funny. Not only funny, but funny to all groups of people, no matter their background. And that's what makes a great stand-up to me. So I'm shooting for that. I'm not I can make people laugh talking about the bathroom.
Right.
But I don't want that. It's not good enough for me.
Have you had the opportunity to meet some of the people that you spoke about? Like
I've met
Eddie
Dave,
Murphy, Bill
I've met
Burr?
Chris. I've seen Bill live. I've passed him, but I didn't speak to him. I haven't met him. Eddie, I've never seen. he one of them people I don't know if I want to see. Don't know if I could hold my composure the way I'm supposed to. I know I stared at Chris too much. I know I stared at Dave way too much. Shout out to both them niggas for being really cool about it, but I know I was a weird nigga that day. Like, they were there, I was like, can't help it, man. Like,
which one gave you some game?
Dave?
Dave gave you some game.
Dave was so nice, man. That's what makes me laugh, because some people hear me like, anytime if I ever criticize Dave, they were like, you hating on Dave. I was like, it's my favorite fucking comedian, Goofy. Right. It's just like being the LeBron James fan and he pass it instead of shoot it. Be like, fuck LeBron. They were like, man, LeBron great. I didn't say the nigga wasn't great. I just wish he took the shot.
Right.
So it's that. It's like if Dave do something about, like, I'm like, man, I wish he didn't do that. And they be like, man, you hate Dave. I was like, no, I love Dave. That's why I wish he wouldn't have did that.
Right.
But nah, man, he was so nice. I was just in his green room, happy to be there.
Right.
Because my homeboy was opening for him. I was just sitting there like, and my homeboy, he know me. Like, I'm an introvert. I'm not trying to talk to nobody. I don't want to be in nobody's way. No, nothing.
Right.
It's so funny that people think I'm social because we're doing the podcast and I'm talking so much. Yeah. AD is here. I'm comfortable with this nigga, so or I can turn it on for the sake of entertainment.
Right.
But in my normal life, no, nigga, I'm not talking. And some people look at it like I'm standoffish. I'm gonna tell you what, don't match. Don't mix it all. Being an introvert and being successful. When you're an introvert and you poor, niggas just think you weird. When you're an introvert and you rich, they're like, oh, he think he better than us. That's why he's not talking to us. No, nigga, I'm the same weird nigga. I'm a weird nigga with a lot of money, dog. That's all it is. I'm a weird nigga. I'm a weird nigga with fans. That's it. So I didn't want to say nothing. And my friend picked up on it. He was like, you know, Dave Ryan's a comedian. He's like, what? Oh, you're a comedian? I was like, oh, why is this nigga talking to me? Oh my God, he's talking to me. That was not what I wanted with today. I didn't want another time. And then he ended up talking to me. He was asking me about my career. You know what I mean? It was genuine. He seemed genuinely interested. I think he really loves comedy and he really loves comedians and he'll give whatever he has to give
to the game.
Right. And then I think he just loved the game. He like the nigga that hoop at the park at like 60 years old. He like, old school. What are you doing? He's like, can't give it up.
Right.
And luckily for Dave, he's only like 50. But you know what I mean? I can see Dave doing stand-up, 93 years old in a fucking wheelchair. It's like, you know what I think about the world today? Right. Like I just see him doing it. He really loves it. I love it like that, but I think I've never seen anybody love it more than me. He loves it more than me. Oh, he loves it more than me. I can't.
When I